2023 was a tremendous year of opportunity and growth for our company, with US Commercial at the forefront, which was meaningfully driven by AIP as the product and boot camps as the go-to-market motion. AIP and boot camps are accelerating our business, particularly in US Commercial, where fourth quarter revenue grew 70% year over year. In October, we set a goal of executing 500 AIP boot camps within 1 year. We have already blown that goal out of the water, having completed more than 560 boot camps across 465 organizations to date. One boot camp attendee remarked, quote, "What your team did in just 2 days was incredible. We can already think of 100 use cases for this." We're already seeing evidence of boot camps helping to significantly compress sales cycles and accelerate the rate of new customer acquisition. And we more than doubled the number of US Commercial deals with TCV of $1 million or more from the fourth quarter in 2022 to 2023. The strength of our US government business is not reflected in the fourth quarter results, which remain muted. Some of this is due to the continuing resolution and timing of large potential contract awards, but it's also a function of the department's pace of scaling their AI and software efforts to match the realities of modern combat. The Army has publicly indicated they anticipate down selection to a single vendor for the next phase of Titan to occur in Q2 of 2024. We also announced the extension of our partnership with the Army to continue operating and enhancing the Army Vantage platform, which is used for data-driven operations and decision-making. We expect re-acceleration of our U.S. government business in 2024. Turning to our international government business, we are incredibly honored that the NHS chose Palantir to help deliver a federated data platform to improve patient care by bringing together the information needed to plan and deliver care while reducing administrative burden. For example, at Chelsea and Westminster NHS Foundation Trust, it helped bring down the inpatient waiting list by 28%, and operations canceled on the day due to missed preoperative assessments subsequently fell by half.
We continue to focus on accelerating the rate of boot camps with current and prospective customers. At a recent 2-day boot camp with a construction and engineering and architecture company, our customer developed a production-ready use case that provided $10 million of savings. They used AIP to build an AI-powered disruption manager application that processes production disruption notifications through AIP logic to determine what the best new production plan would be. 2 days, $10 million. Turning to government, Palantir is experiencing its own Amazon.com to AWS moment, taking exquisite first-party technology that supports the largest scale defense tech player and making it available for third parties to build on and with. We see a more significant market opportunity in Mission Manager and government web services over the long term than in C2, Intel, and data platforms alone. We continue to invest in relationships with the defense industrial base to help them bend metal more profitably and efficiently. At the same time, monetization of these efforts will take time. The principal reason is that the DoD is at the very beginning of a long-term allocation shift from hardware to software. For example, the Army is spending a mere 0.015% of its budget on command and control software in fiscal year 24. But as we confront crisis and conflict in 3 theaters, this is changing.
We beat the high end of our guidance range on both revenue and adjusted operating margin, driving an 800 basis point sequential increase to our Rule of 40 score from 46 in the third quarter to 54 in the fourth quarter. Customer count grew 35% year over year and 10% sequentially to 497 customers. Net dollar retention was 108%, an increase of 100 basis points from last quarter. Net dollar retention does not include revenue from new customers that we acquired in the past 12 months and therefore does not yet fully capture the acceleration in our US commercial business. Adjusted gross margin, which excludes stock-based compensation expense, was 84% for the quarter and 82% for the year.
Obviously, our performance in US commercial is extraordinary. Some would say bombastic. 2 years ago, we did 92 pilots. And last year, really mostly the second half of the year, we did over 500 boot camps. Take everything you've done in AI since you started, put your best people on it, and we're going to show up at any time you want, and we're going to run your data at a boot camp for 10 hours. And then you compare. Our 10 hours, your 10 months. We have 300 customers that are creating operational results using our AIP product. Operational meaning, define it how you want. I'm defining it as they'll pay $1 million or more for it. So it's real.
Yeah, FedStart's been a hit, and I think it's easy to understand why. There's been $100 billion of capital that's flowed into the defense tech community at large. No one can afford the 2 years and $2 million it takes to achieve this accreditation. This provides market access. We've started with an intense focus on IL5, bringing folks to the DoD market. We plan to release an IL6 FedStart at the end of Q2 and FedRAMP High at the end of Q3, early Q4. But I think that the bigger thing that I'm really excited about is Mission Manager, which is Apollo, Rubix, which is our zero trust compute and networking infrastructure, and the Ontology Software Development Kit, the OSDK, as a combined offering to the government to really give the government what they've been asking for, which is infrastructure that allows them to build and manage multi-vendor, big tent ecosystems that drive continuous competition and allow the government to actually control the interfaces and avoid lock-in.
Before we launched FedStart, the $100 billion of investment in kind of new defense tech largely had the impression Palantir was competitive with them. And FedStart aligns all those venture capitalists and all their investments and most of their companies with Palantir. And that means a lot of the resistance to us is not only disappearing, but it's actually been converted into support for Palantir, support for what we're doing. And those people are really helping spread the obvious Palantir gospel. Instead of wondering how they can compete with us, they're wondering how we can succeed together. Inside the U.S., people in IT are responsible for business value. This creates business value. And they are almost exclusively now our friends. Maybe they can talk to some analysts. Take a look at the software. It's like we are not arguing in the abstract or in a PowerPoint or according to what you may have learned at business school that is better. We are arguing that it is better. Yeah, like we're already overfilled for our AIP boot camp, and it's just we don't know how to deal actually with this demand. I'm getting personally involved in the recruiting again to get more people, but exactly the right people, and we're going to scale against the demand. But it's a real thing.